We're going to talk about variables in email testing. And really what we're going to take a look at here is something that harkens back to 7th grade science, which is we only want to test one variable at a time. So what variable do we want to start with? We want to start at the top with subject lines. At the next level down, we would want to test the preheaders. Now these can be tested in combination with the subject line as long as you always pair the same subject line with the preheader and you make one unit out of it. Every time you send an email, at bare minimum, you should be testing that. Because again, the opportunity here is to learn more about your audience and to create tighter, more meaningful segments. And when we create meaningful subject line tests or preheader tests or combined tests, we need to have at least 3 different subject lines or 3 different subject line and preheader combinations. The next thing we can test is a call to action. What is the text on the call to action? We don't want it to just be learn more. That's never effective. We want to test different calls to action throughout the email with different text on each call to action. And we want to drive all our calls to action to one place, again, so that we can test the variable effectively. We can also test where we place those calls to action. We obviously always want to have one high up in the frame so that people can immediately access our call to action. But then throughout the body of the email, we can test different areas to put calls to action. We can test the header text, the text at the very top of the email. We want to take a look at how long is that headline text, how large is it, maybe we personalize it, maybe we give an informational headline, maybe we ask a question in the headline. Beyond that, we can start to test things throughout the email, like how long is the content and where do we place the content. And we can test how many graphics do we put in and how large are these graphics? Do we have more graphics in our email? Do we have less graphics in our email? Do we send a text-only email? We can start to take a look at a very high level at testing the time of day and the day of week of the sends. There's some conventional wisdom out there that Tuesdays and Thursdays are the best times to send email. And what we've seen through testing is that that's not always the case. We might find that there's a sweet spot outside of the normal sending times where we get more engagement. Beyond that, we want to take a look at localizing our test sends. And we want to say that if we send at 8 a.m. East Coast time, that might irritate West Coast doctors. So if we're going to send at 8 a.m., we want to localize that send to 8 a.m. in each time zone that we're sending to. We want to be able to take a look at our target list and know the different groups within it, how they will respond to these different variables, and craft many messages that really key in on each one of those segments so that we have the right content at the right time for that audience. And that is how we email responsibly. Our assignment this time is kind of an easy one, but I think it'll be very rewarding. Open up your inbox, pick an email that you like. Open the email all the way up and take a look at all the different things within this email. What's the subject line? What's the preheader? What is the header text? How many graphics does it have? What are the calls to action and how many are there? And make a list, make a catalog of all the different things you see in this email. What are the different parts of it? Is there a footer? Is there a header? What are these different parts? Once you make that list, count it up. That's the amount of variables you have to test within an email. And so as you go forward, start to put together a programmatic list of all the different things that you want to test in all of your outbound marketing email. This has been DMD Dialogue. I'll see you next time.